Well, Rox went in a bit fast. Potter made him fall short, but then missed his riposte. Then Rox did a second action to get one light. Attack to the left. Potter just waited on his first step. This time attack for the right. Stephen Rox just paused on the line, gave the priority away to the right. And that was good use of the piece. He was very patient, waited for Potter to step in distance and then launched a counter-attack. So nice hit for Rox there. And that's attack left. They both paused and Rox immediately saw Potter wait and took up the attack very quickly. He's carried his form from that semi-final into this match by the look of it. He's not rushing too much on the first step, making good decisions. Referee gives attack right. It's a very tough call, that one, very close. So each leg of the relay is up to 5, and the total the teams have to reach is 45 hits. So there are 9 legs of 5 to reach 45. Rox all the way at the end of the piece, gets hit on preparation, just as I was saying earlier. If they wait too long on that attack and get too close before launching the final action, then these big guys are going to hit them on preparation as they come forward.
Stephen Rox did make the semi-finals of the individual event.
Yeah, he had a good day in the individual. Did well to pick up a medal.
And so did his teammate Glenn Sancroft as well. So as you say, it's the experience they've had, not just from that, but the quality and depth you talked about yesterday when we were commentating on the women's Sabre matches as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, going into the championships, probably Michael Clarke would have been the Scottish favourite to pick up a medal. He was, one of the 3 guys on the piece at the moment who didn't. So that's in a way, in a strange way, that's a good sign, because we know Michael's definitely capable of winning a medal at this event, and the other 2 guys have shown they can win a medal at this event. So, they've got the depth. I think if they just keep their discipline, control themselves in the middle of the piece, not start rushing too much, then they will be able to close this out.
Yeah, for those who were watching the men's individual Sabre, you may remember there's a little bit of controversy around Michael Clarke's particular bout which he lost out on. Hopefully he's put that well to the back of his mind. I'm sure he has.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed with his championships. He would have come in here looking to win an individual medal and take the Scotland team to the final. I think that would have been his aim in his mind. So I think he'll be disappointed with his championship. So he'll be trying to turn that around here. Very nervy out there, both fencers twitching and going a little bit early. Simultaneous action to start. Wales just need to make sure they stay in touch at the beginning of the match. Attack for the right. Nice hit for Nathan Potter, the younger of the Potters. Very good parry post from Clarke. Set him up there, came in slowly, gave the priority away, and then took the parry post. Clarke on the attack. Needs to be patient, finish strongly, and that's exactly what he did.
Worth Stephen Rox almost trying to get inside that long reach, almost like a boxer, I suppose, would step in to try and negate that advantage you might have.
The key is not to come into distance too slowly. If they come in too close too slowly, then they can get hit and not have time to react. They need to, when they decide to actually deliver the hit, they need to go into from a long distance and hit really aggressively with a big step lunge. Potter on the attack now, good control, he's not rushing too much. Waiting for Clarke's mistake, which does come. Clarke loses patience and counter-attacks, and then Nathan Potter took a nice parry post to come back within 2. Wales are doing what they need to do here, which is just stay in touch, make sure nothing gets out of hand. And as we've said so many times in Sabre, the match really starts in the last 3 fights, as long as you're within a few hits either way. Clarke on the attack again. Potter will be looking at the counter-attack. That's the tap left. Michael Clarke beat the blade. Wales were hoping the referee would see it the other way, but I think that's a correct decision.
I think I'm right in saying as well, there's a rather unfortunate draw in the individual event where the brothers Potter were drawn against each other.
That's right, yeah.
So there's only ever going to be one making it through.
The referee needed a step ladder to referee that. And that's exactly what happened to Michael Clarke in his individual when he was knocked out. His leg just got tangled around the cable, and that just happened right now. And in the individual event, the referee didn't see it, and Michael stopped, expecting the referee to call halt. His opponent hit him, and the referee awarded the hit. So he was very frustrated by that. That was a key moment in the fight.
I mean, we've only seen that once in this entire championships, and it happened to Michael last time. It's happened again. Is that an issue with footwork, or is it just an unfortunate coincidence, do you think?
I think it's, I mean, I'm going to hold my hands up and confess I coach Mike, so obviously his footwork would be perfect. I wouldn't allow anything less. But
of
yeah,
course,
I mean,
obviously.
I think it's actually a coincidence. I mean, it's something that does happen from time to time.
Yeah, I suppose we should say, in the interests of full disclosure, Jon, you do know, I mean, your role as a Sabre coach and working across Britain, you know a lot of the people we're going to be watching in both this match and in the gold medal match as well. Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys since they were babes in arms, and you know, in the youth circuit from under 13s, under 14s, all the way up. A lot of these boys have been around for a long time, and I've been around for a lot longer, unfortunately. So yeah, I've seen them grow up, and I've seen them develop as fencers, and it's really good to see them here as teams working together and competing at this championships. So Clarke managed to close out that fight 10-6. He didn't start very strongly, but I think he lost 3 of the first 4 hits, but then managed to close it out 10-6. Scotland just pushing the lead out to 4. And Joe Nicol steps on, taking on Glenn Sancroft. Glenn, who started poorly in the last round, but then had a fantastic comeback towards the end.
He lost out to the eventual gold medalist in the individual event, Alex Crutchett, and he was beaten in the semi-finals 15-10.
Joe Nicol started with a good parry cross there against the left-hander. Nicol misses the attack, so Sancroft's on the offensive now, being quite cautious. Misses the attack. Joe Nicol hits him on preparation on the way in. Glenn, I just think, needed to be a bit smoother with his step lunge there. He did a bit of a big clumpy step before he decided to deliver his last attack and just got too close. Joe stopped and waited for the attack. Sancroft fell short, and then Joe Nicol managed to hit him on the wrist to come back within a point. It's a strong start to the third leg for the Welsh team. Done a good job so far. The actions were actually together, but Joe Nicol failed to hit the target, so if he got a light up it would have been simultaneous. But 1 light for Scotland, 11-9. Again, a good parry across. The right-hander against the left-hander. Glenn's a bit confused about the score there.
Referee not entirely amused by that, but Glenn obviously just a little confused.
Yeah, I think he thought it was up to 10 this leg. It's up to 15, so he's got a few hits to score yet, hopefully for him. Aggressive preparation from Joe, looking for the moment to hit there. Big step lunge and finishes his attack very well. Good discipline from Joe Nicol there.
And those little stutter steps we're seeing there, and that's just to set up the attack he wants to execute when he gets there.
That's right. He's just trying to find the right distance to do his step lunge. If he goes from too far away, he'll miss. If he gets too close with a big step, then the other guy can hit on preparation. It's attack left, so Glenn retakes the lead. So it's a good leg from Joe Nicol. He's kind of the dark horse in the Welsh team, really. You won't mind me saying he's more mature than some of his compatriots, but he's a real fighter and a real worker on the piece. Exactly the same parry cross. And I think Glenn needs to just switch on a bit mentally here and change the line of his attack, because Joe's pulling out the same parry each time. Attack right. They both started together, but Joe Nicol's lunge started first. His arm went out. Their first step was simultaneous. The last action was not. For Sancroft. This is very finely balanced now. As we said before, Sabre is very different to the other 2 weapons in team matches. If you build a lead of 5 or 6 hits in épée, that can be a commanding lead if you play it tactically cleverly and use the clock. In Sabre, the clock does not come into play at all.
Do the substitutions, bringing in the reserves in a Sabre match, matter as much, do you think, in foil and épée competitions?
I think that's the biggest tactical decision for the coach in Sabre is, do I substitute, and if so, when, and if so, who for? And it's really important. I think I'd be surprised if Scotland made a substitution unless someone has a disaster or has an injury. They didn't do it in the last round when they'd started quite weakly, so I'd be surprised in this situation if they did. Wales do have an option of Stuart Dixon on the bench. But at the moment, all 3 of the Welsh boys have started very strongly. Joe doing that very careful attack again, just pushing forward with tiny steps. Glenn Sancroft tried to do a beat on the blade, but he actually hits his opponent's guard, which means that it's a parry riposte for his opponent. So Joe Nicol put in a great leg there.
And you can see from the look on his face and that roar he let out, he's pretty pumped up for this one, is Joe Nicol.
Absolutely, he knows he's just brought his team back in to contention now. Because I think if Scotland had just picked up another 5-2 or 5-3 there, you know, a 15, 8 or 9 gap with Stephen Rocks, who's in really good form coming on the piece, may have been a bit too much, but now it's absolutely anybody's game. So Rocks takes on Nathan Potter, the younger of the two Potter brothers, and possibly half an inch shorter. And the key for Stephen now is how he controls his preparation in the middle, so he doesn't get hit as he steps forward. That's a very nice start.
He just seems slightly sharper there.
Absolutely, his first step was nice and sharp but small, so he wasn't overcommitted. And that's what he needs to do, small preparation. Potter needs to be a little bit more aggressive on his first step, and then he can find the time there to hit him on prep, exactly like that. He just sped up that first step, kept it small, and then he could lunge into his opponent's preparation. And again, but this time the referee judges the first action was no. So Nathan Potter did have priority, but then the referee saw him do an action with his hand that he felt was an attempt to hit that failed, so the priority had passed back to Rocks. Big attack for Potter, and Wales now pushing out into a small lead. Scotland have to be careful that they don't get away from them, because I think what happened with Singapore, they got away very early in the match, and even though Scotland did build momentum and come back into it, if they'd had a bit more control of the match early on and gone into the last 3 fights with a small lead, I think they would have closed that out. So for Scotland now, who are really in contention for topping the medal table, this is becoming quite a key period of this match.
That levels it up then at 18-all in this, the 4th fight of the bronze medal match. This is of course the first of 3 commentaries we're going to bring you. We'll have the final of the women's foil, and then the final of the men's sabre as well, the gold medal match, England v Singapore later on.
So Rocks just makes Potter fall short in the middle, takes up the attack, looking to pull level. Very good attack, that was really nice. Good combination of aggressive but controlled, so he was putting his opponent under pressure, but controlling the distance very well. Attack left, Potter just waited on the first step, Rocks took the priority. And a one-hit lead for Scotland. It's a good quality match, this. I think he could easily have descended into just a scrap in the middle of the piece, but both sides are trying some different tactics, trying to vary their preparation, looking for a few parries, using the piece when they have the attack, using the piece with good discipline. So they're concentrating well, using good tactics. And Sancroft on the piece now. Against James Potter. James Potter will be closing out the match against Michael Clarke in the last leg, the 9th leg. This is leg number 5.
You're a little surprised Stephen Rocks wasn't given that, given that he's in pretty good form, perhaps more so than Michael Clarke?
It's a difficult choice as a coach. Sometimes if you have a fencer like that who's in good form, who's used to fencing in a certain position, if you take them out of position, they can get a bit tense and a bit nervous. So for Rocks, he's been traditionally used to fencing in that position with Clarke finishing. And I guess they'd be looking to hand the lead over to Michael. That would be the strategy. Give Rocks a run at Joe Nicol in the penultimate fight. Try and build up a small lead to hand over to Michael. Sancroft on the attack. A nice attack that time. Potter's just lost a little bit of patience. He's counter-attacking early. If you remember the previous fight, he got all the way to the back of the piece and pulled out a really nice stop cut. Stop cut is a hit to your opponent's wrist or arm as they come forward. Good parry toss from the left-hander. Potter went too fast, too direct. Sancroft saw it in time. And exactly the same hit again. James Potter just needs to take a deep breath and reset, I think. Sancroft on the defensive. Potter gives the attack away. And that's a parry toss again for Glenn Sancroft. Potter just seemed to lose a lot of confidence in his attack there. It was very very lackadaisical attack, and he didn't seem to have any sharpness. Just during that fight, he just had a 3 or 4 hit run where his mind switched off. He made the same mistake a couple of times and just lost a bit of confidence at the end.
Yeah, and we're sort of heading, I suppose, towards that point at which it becomes crucial, that 4, 5, 6 point gap, if there is one. I see we're now into the 6th fight coming up. So
yeah, I think this is a crucial fight for Wales. They don't need to be in the lead, but they do need to be in touch. So I think if Clarke puts in a good leg here against Nicol, then it could be a clincher for Scotland. But if Joe Nicol can just peg it back and keep within 4 or 5 hits, I think that's enough for it to still be a close finish. So just Davis calls the fences on guard in a really important leg now. Leg number 6, attack to the left. Clarke scores the first hit, 5-hit gap. They'll both now be thinking, what's just happened in that hit? What might my opponent do next? What should my reaction be? Clarke looked to hit on preparation, but he left it a little bit too late. The priority had been taken up by Nicol. 4-hit gap. Both a little bit tense, both twitching before the referee said fence. Clarke had priority stopped, but managed to block out his opponent's continuation by using the guard, making a circular action with the guard to block out his opponent's blade.
Change of weapon for Joe Nicol.
Yeah, I think when he was blocked out, I think he had a nice big bend put into it. The referee just testing it, giving his opinion.
They're pretty sturdy things, though. It takes a fair bit to force a change.
Yeah, to bend them out of shape. It does. I mean, the blades do bend, but they kind of bend back into shape quite easily. They don't have a very long life, the blades, but then you can take the weapon apart, change the blade, and keep all the other bits. The guards are very solid. They get a lot of battering. The guards crunch together, or the blades hitting the opponent's mask and being parried. They do take quite a battering. It's 27-22 to Scotland. Wales just trying to keep in touch here. And Nicol, for the 3rd time in this match, has twitched and gone early, and this time the referee's had enough of that and has given him a yellow. It's been a bit more lenient this match, Davis, on people going early so far. Normally he's straight to the card. And that time, as Nicol came forward, Clarke hit him on preparation. Tap left. Scotland are pulling out a significant cushion now, 7-hit cushion. Wales need a couple more hits in this fight, I think. While working hard, Nicol controlling his attack as he has done all match, controlled it very well. Oh, he missed the attack. Parry post for Clarke and counter parry post for Joe Nicol. Really nice hit there. Good discipline by both fencers. All round good cricket, you'd say, if it was cricket.
Yeah, Michael Clarke just seemed to run out of room a little bit there. He was working back, but he's managed to not only maintain but also extend that lead out to 7 points.
Yeah, and now we're coming to leg number 7 of 9. Stuart's got the substitute, is stepping up to plug Glenn Sancroft in. That's nice to see that. I like that as a coach. I like that when the substitute gets involved and slapping the fence from the back and being positive, not just sitting in the chair and wishing they were on the piece, which obviously they are doing, but showing support for the team. It can make a big difference psychologically. So now it's Nathan Potter, tall right-hander, against Glenn Sancroft, left-hander, who pulled out some nice parry posts in his last leg against James Potter. Wonder if his strategy will be the same again, try and draw the attack and parry it.
Just going to give you a quick update from what's happening in the England v Canada women's foil bronze medal match. So I'll give a wee indication of the speed, I suppose. We're just entering the 7th fight in the men's sabre, but across on the women's foil it's just into the 4th round, and it's 11-8 to England over Canada in that bronze medal match, which of course you can find on the Commonwealth Fencing YouTube channel.
The first hit, Potter went for a big fast attack, and Glenn Sancroft was ready, hit him on preparation. That's action simultaneous. Nobody made any decisive move there. And there is the parry post I just said about before the leg started. Exactly the same action he did in the previous round. It's the same timing there as the first hit, but Sancroft hit the guard, he didn't hit the target. So Potter picks one up with that big fast attack. This time Sancroft takes a conservative decision, gets out of distance, makes his opponent miss. Now he's on the attack. Potter needs to work hard on the piece if he's going to pick up the attack on preparation, which is what I think he's looking to do. Very good from Potter, good discipline. Made his opponent miss all the way at the back, just had 1 foot on the piece, and then managed to land his counter-attack, so 25-32. And then Potter says, whatever you can do, I can do better. He does exactly the same parry post that his opponent did to him 2 hits ago. I think Glenn just turned his ankle a little bit there. Not badly, I think it's just a niggle. Just shaking it off.
But that's going to be very disconcerting, I suppose, if such is the importance of footwork. Any kind of issues with your ankles, your knees, it's going to weigh on your mind. Yeah,
ankles are always the thing that, well, often the thing that go. You land on the other guy's foot and twist your ankle on the edge of the piece and twist your ankle. It can happen. But he didn't seem affected by it. He pulled out another of those parry posts. Tried it again, missed, but did a continuation after he'd missed. And he's just shaking that ankle off. This is his last fight of the day, so he just needs to soldier through this. Potter really needs to pick up a couple of hits here. And there's one. Sancroft made a miss.
Oh, there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. Sancroft thought he had that, and Potter copied that celebration. I feel there's a little bit of needle in this match.
Yeah, I think Potter's a bit frustrated. I think Wales are a bit frustrated. They were in touch, they just let it get away in the last 2 legs. Oh, nice parry post from Potter. He missed his attack. Sancroft tried an immediate fast riposte. James Potter did a really good cant parry post. And Duvis is just having a word to tell Potter to keep a lid on it. Kapashvari, who is actually the active ref at the moment, Duvis is sitting out. I don't think Kapashvari is very happy that Duvis got involved. So it's all kicking off. So the referees are falling out with each other and with the fencers, just to add to the excitement.
The internal politics of fencing refereeing.
I mean, if you look at it from the referee's perspective, Kapashvari could see that as a slight undermining of his authority, because the other referee came off the seat and kind of saying, indicating subliminally, maybe Kapashvari should have done something, taken some action. So he would see that as a little bit of an undermining of his authority. Attack on preparation for Sancroft as Potter came forward, and the score is 35-28. The gap is 7 hits.
And nice to see a little embrace there between the two. They obviously realised it was on the verge of perhaps getting a little too fiery, so they've just maybe calmed it down. It's their last encounter of the night. So
yeah, these guys are good. They're all good friends. They all know each other really well. And obviously on the piece, when you pull the mask down, the adrenaline rush comes, and it's a combat sport in the end. You know, you want to beat the other guy, you want to hit him, and you know, sometimes just can bubble over a little bit. But I don't think there was anything too bad there, to be honest. I've seen a lot worse, I can tell you. Especially with Italy versus Russia.
Sounds like there are old rivalries at play there. We've just got the last 2 fights coming up then. 35-28 to Scotland in this bronze medal match. When do Wales hit the panic button, if indeed they need to?
Well, the difficulty in Sabre is obviously, you know, you can't really change tactics and use the clock. So for Scotland, they have to close out and score those 5 hits in each leg. So Wales just have to try and keep their heads and try and build a few hits and put a bit of pressure back on Scotland. There's a nice hit from Joe Nicol. Feinted as though he was going to step back. Rocks then went for a big long attack, and then Nicol stepped back in and hit him on preparation. Good thinking. Nothing there, both came forward about the same pace and hit together. This time attack for the rights. So another one back for Wales. Gap is 6. Rocks has just gone a little bit off the boil. Maybe a little bit complacent going to this fight. Feeling the job had been done. But that's a really nice attack from him. He's got a little bit of a knack of doing a fast attack, looking as though he might be about to miss, and then just putting an extra step in and catching his opponent. 7 hit cushions restored. Wales need to string some hits together. Exactly the same hit that Nicol did earlier, his second hit in the fight. Pretended he was going to go back, did a little feint, and then stepped back in, got 1 light on Rocks' preparation. Yellow card for Rocks.
I thought they both twitched there, but it's Rocks who gets the yellow card.
So if Rocks goes early again, then that would mean a red card, which would be a point to his opponent. So he has to be very disciplined and wait for the word fence. On his preparation, attack for the right, another one back from Nicol. Gap is 5. Nicol trying to build some momentum here, shouting for his hits, being really positive. It's good to see. They definitely haven't given up, these guys. Nothing there. Both fencers step lunge together. And again, nobody wants to give any ground now. They're too worried if they go in and out and try and defend that they're just going to give priority away and the opponent will land the attack. Nichol's done very well landing his attack most of this match. As soon as he's had priority, he hasn't really given it away. At that time he rushed too much. Rocks changed his rhythm of his preparation and managed to hit in time for the referee to give that attack left.
And some of the biggest cheers of the day are actually coming from the Wales men's épée team who are in watching this match. Over to our right hand side.
That's together. Again together, both waiting for the other one to make a mistake, but at the moment that's not happening. They're just keeping it simple, not taking risks. This time attack left. Nicol tried that same action he's tried twice before, but this time Rocks was ready for it and finished much earlier with his attack. So Nicol was looking to draw him in and hit on preparation, but Rocks knew what was happening. Attack for Rocks, but I think he hit off target actually. I think he hit on the leg. Yeah, and Nicol's rubbing his right thigh, which is obviously where the blade landed, which is not part of the target. The target's everything from the waist up, the grey jacket that you can see covering the target area. And this time Nicol takes the attack, and he's back within 4. So whatever happens now, Wales are definitely in touch for the last leg. Which will be Clarke versus James Potter. Attack left. They both paused, and then Rocks just started ahead of Nicol. That's a good leg for Wales though. They've just done enough for this match to be alive.
Yeah, they've only reduced the deficit by a couple of points, but an important couple of points, you think, because I mean, 10 in Sabre can happen in a flash.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen comebacks from bigger deficits than this many times, and it will just be playing on Clarke's mind as he goes on the piece. You know, if it had been 7 or 8 hits, he would have felt comfortable. He could have gone out and tried a couple of maybe what you consider more high-risk actions. But I think he'll come out now, maybe fence a little bit more conservatively. And that could actually play into Potter's hands. Potter's an awkward customer. He's a big, strong guy, really tall, really gangly, very fast hand in the middle of the piece. Clarke's attack isn't the strongest, so Potter may try and exploit that. But Clarke managed to land that one. Michael's got very good technique, very good tactically in the middle of the piece. But when he's going forward, I would say he's probably 50-50 with his attack.
So 4 more points required for Scotland for the bronze medal in the men's Sabre team event.
Clarke on the attack. And that's what I mean. Michael just pulled his arm back to deliver the hit, and then Potter hit on preparation. 4 hit cushion. Still no need to panic. I think the key is to keep your head in this situation. Michael put in a more controlled attack there. Potter looked for the attack on prep again. I think he should have mixed up his tactic and gone back and try and make him fall short, not be too predictable. Very close call. Referee decided that Potter's hand was out first. They both started their feet together. Clarke stepped off the piste. So it's a 1 metre penalty. Potter would have much preferred the ref to carry on and let him keep his priority and give him a chance to land his attack. The referee enforced the letter of the law and called halt. So actually, by putting a foot off the piste there, Clarke gained a slight advantage. So we're reset now, nobody has priority. Referee gives attack on prep. So he thought Clarke was waiting with his hand and then just reacted to Potter's lunge into his preparation.
The gap now down to just 3 points. Same total that Scotland need to take the bronze medal.
Clarke falls short with the attack. Looks for parry post, but Potter managed to finish the attack. And as we said just before this leg started, Wales were close enough for it to still be a match. And Potter's putting in a good leg here, and they're back in contention. Simultaneous in the middle. Michael's just getting a bit riled with the referee. Keeps looking at him, trying to get him to give the hit. It's attack left. It'll be psychologically important hit for both fencers. Potter, I think, will probably go on the attack now. There you go, and he fell short. And Michael immediately missed his counter-attack. Potter's back on the attack. Being very cautious. Misses. Clarke's on the attack. Goes forward, falls short. Really important hit. And in the end, Clarke ran out of patience, fell short with his counter-attack. James Potter delivered a scoring hit and is back within 2. Just as you think the match is about to finish and Scotland have clinched it, Wales just claw their way back in, just enough to be in contention.
I think that was the longest encounter we've actually seen in this entire match.
It was, I think, yeah. Just shows how nervous both guys were, that they both missed their attack twice there. Just a little bit too tense to deliver a nice long flowing finish. For me, that's a mistake from the referee. For me, that's attack left. I thought Michael was much more aggressive with his feet. Potter waited, did a counter-attack, but the referee saw that as attack in preparation.
Welsh bench trying to whip up the crowd.
Oh, very nice power cross. Clarke finally decides to use his technique, did a better preparation with his feet, and did a good parry cross.
1 point now for Scotland required.
Oh, very good attack on Pratt. Potter scoring the hit that Nickel picked up in the previous leg. And it is very tense now. I think Scotland cannot contemplate coming away from the Sabre competition without a medal. Wales have a chance of a really big result here. And another good parry cross from Clarke to take.
And he immediately removes the mask and acknowledges the crowd. He knew that was good.
He's not a happy man, you can see it. That's not a celebration.
Oh,
that's disappointment. He's not happy. It's sad to see that. I know the whole team's disappointed that they weren't in the final. Clarke feels he's underperformed at this competition, but in the end, it was a really gutsy finish with those 2 parry crosses in the last 3 hits. In the end, he fell back on his technique and his training, and he should be pleased with himself to close that out in a really tough pressure situation. That Potter fenced really well to pull himself back in. The previous leg, Nickel just did enough, niggling away at that lead, just did enough to keep him in contention.
Yeah, we're just looking at James Potter over the right-hand side. He had his head in his hands a moment ago.
And that's a lovely parry cross. The slow motion replay just shows it.
And very, very close-fought match again for Scotland.
And here it is from another angle. Just watch the hand speed of Clarke here and the accuracy. Really correct position. Potter goes for a big attack, nice block. Just did enough to block out the initial attack and then riposte. More relief, I think, than joy for Scotland.
Is he being a bit hard on himself there, do you think, Michael Clarke? Or?
Yeah, he is, and that's his nature, I'm afraid. If, you know, second place is first loser for him, I think. He'll be disappointed with his individual performance over the course of the championships, but at the end of the day, you know, he just pulled out 2 really fantastic hits to help his team to a bronze medal. I don't think he should be. I think he should have a beer tonight.
I mean, you rightly say. I think they would be disappointed not to be in the final. That absolute nail-biter in the semi against Singapore, where they lost out 45-44, and we can see Glenn Sancroft there. He's got another Commonwealth medal, but he doesn't look too pleased about it.
The smiles are starting to come now. I just think, you know, I think they've set themselves high standards. They know that Scotland have had a great championship so far. They know how high they are in the medal table. I think they would have liked to be battling for the gold medal to try and keep Scotland at the top of the table until the end of the championships. You know, and I think it's not just thinking about their individual performance or even just their weapon performance. It's thinking about the whole squad across all the disciplines, and as a team, they're a very close-knit team, Scotland, and they've always been really supportive and really vocal.
I think I'm right in saying that now matches the expectations for Scottish fencing coming into this championships, and obviously they're guaranteed a medal in the women's foil final as well, so that exceeds it. But you said last night they should have been slightly bolder, perhaps.
I think their individual target was right, and possibly, you know, quite bullish. But I think the team target was very conservative. I would expect them to win a medal in probably 5 of the events. But I think what Scotland have managed to do is convert their gold medal chances, and that's always the key. You know, winning medals is one thing, having lots of finals is great, but if you can convert a good number to gold, then obviously at the top of the table, and that's what they've been very successful in doing.
So we're just about done with our commentary for just now. Just to give you a quick update what's happening in the bronze medal match of the women's foil, England versus Canada. It's 26-15 to England, and we're just edging down in the 6th fight of that particular match. So we'll bring you obviously the result of that when it's happened, but we're going to take a little break for just now. We're going to wind down this particular commentary. Do remember you can get in touch with us on Twitter using the hashtag CFCLargs, or indeed through the account at CFencing 2014. Do get in touch with us. Any questions, particularly around the Sabre, of course. Not often you get a chance to have a Sabre expert in your midst like Jon Salfield, so it's worth a few questions. Any technicalities, the intricacies of the sport, so do get in touch with us. As I say, we're going to have a short break from our commentary, so do refresh your page, go back to the YouTube homepage channel, and we'll be there for the gold medal matches in about 20 minutes time.